I'm so grateful to be in the company of so many beautiful devotees here. It is my great fortune, my best fortune, to be in the association of devotees. This is definitely Krishna's causeless mercy. Since I was a young boy, I was so lucky to always be with devotees. In the service of Krishna, we share the message of Krishna. All right? In the service of Krishna, we share the message of Krishna, but we associate with devotees. Why? There's many topics to discuss, but this is something important to know. The company of devotees, like-minded association, is very beneficial for us as we develop in the spiritual path. Service of the devotees helps us develop pure love. It's the root of pure love. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes the importance of association with devotee. Our Gurudev, all the acharyas, the teachers, describe the association of devotees as very important. Rupa Goswami says there's 6 exchanges of love between people. And there are actually 3 pairs. So it's reciprocal. So we exist, it's great. Yes? We're alive, we exist, God exists, I exist, you exist, and that's something to celebrate. Can we celebrate our existence? Haribo! We exist. And our process is not to, turn off the light of our own consciousness. Rather, it's to realize the highest form of our consciousness, highest potentiality in loving engagement, loving service. So association with devotees is what is most beneficial in that process, because in the association of devotees, naturally all the other limbs of bhakti will be performed. When we're with devotees, devotees will say, oh, speak Harikatha, let's hear about Krishna. That's how you know if people are sincere and developing. If they want to hear about Krishna, then they're definitely Krishna's devotees. It's a primary symptom. They like to hear about Krishna. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that my devotees like to discuss about me together. So 6 symptoms of loving exchanges. All right? What are the 6 symptoms of loving exchanges? Giving and receiving of gifts. Dadati pratigrinati. Guyamakyati prichati. Speaking in confidence about our devotional sentiments and as we develop in spiritual life. Bhunkte bhujayate chaiva. And sharing foodstuffs that we've offered to Krishna with each other. Rupa Goswami and his brother Sanatana Goswami would speak all day about Krishna. And then in the evening they would share some foodstuffs that they offer to Krishna. And they would exchange gifts with each other. In our temple in India, we're always doing this process. Every day. Hearing about Krishna, speaking about Krishna together, sharing foodstuffs we've offered to Krishna with each other. In this way we develop love and affection for devotees. So there's very important things to think about this. One is that love and affection is not just for Krishna, it's for Krishna's devotees. As we advance in life, we develop love for Krishna, and then affection for all Krishna's devotees and friendship with Krishna's devotees. Working? All right. As we develop, we have love and affection for Krishna, friendship with all devotees, and affection and compassion to those who are innocent and sincere and who are looking for spiritual life. And then we tend to neglect those who are very inimical. It's not my job, it's not our job to convince people who are antagonistic about Krishna that Krishna is good. It's like, okay, it's good a teeny bit this way. Perfect. All right? So it's not our service. Rupa Goswami says, it's not necessary. It's actually, it can be an offense to Krishna's name if we're always trying to preach to Krishna, someone who really isn't interested. Unless we're like Lord Nityananda, very qualified, then he can convert Jagai Madai, no problem. So the point I'm making here is that love and affection for devotees, friendship with devotees, is also part of our process. Don't look so sad about it. I'm joking. All right? Friendship with devotees, affection for devotees is part of our process. We exist, Krishna exists, his devotees exist. And Krishna says, if you consider yourself my devotee, actually, unless you're my devotee's devotee, I don't consider you my devotee. So you may say, I'm Krishna's devotee, but Krishna says, if you're my devotee's devotee, then I count you as my devotee. So what does it mean to be the devotee of the devotee? It means to have affection for Krishna's devotees, respect for Krishna's devotees. However, it's not material friendship. There's a distinction, right? We sing this song, which is, if you want to laugh and joke with friends, then heed my words. Don't go to see Krishna. Don't go to see Krishna. So Rupa Goswami, this is based off his verse. And he's speaking in two ways simultaneously. One gopi just arrived in Vrindavan, Sadhan Siddha, newly born in Vrindavan. She had never seen Krishna. She had prayed and meditated on Krishna. More important than seeing Krishna by your eyes is developing love for Krishna. Then when you see him, that relationship, I'll tell you the difference. When you see Krishna, so what do we do in this life? We practice, so I'm going to tell a story about one of the gopis who was just born in Vrindavan. So in this life, what are we doing right now? Who can tell me? We're following bhakti. And what is the main process? So we be with devotees, and we exchange the symptoms of love with devotees, develop friendship. Otherwise, naturally the soul's tendency is to love. You can't erase your consciousness. You can try, and you have to squash out it completely. Otherwise, you cannot give up that tendency to love. And that tendency, when applied in this world, to people in this world, leads to attachment and bondage and suffering. But that same loving tendency, when applied to Krishna and his devotees, gives you liberation, and beyond liberation, entrance into Krishna's own realm. So what are the Brijabasis doing? They're laughing and joking, dancing and singing. Lord Brahma, the first created being, described the spiritual world as a place where every step is a dance, every word is a song, where the rivers are flowing like endless nectars of transcendental milk. That is the original land of milk and honey that the Old Testament also speaks of. That is Vrindavan, the land of milk and honey. Hundreds of thousands of Surabhi cows. All the personified Vedas, demigods are all present within Mother Cow, and she is flowing with her heart full of milk. And the source of all that motherly affection is Krishna's mother, Mother Yashoda. And we read this morning how all motherly affection in the world in the form of milk comes from Mother Yashoda. So all the cows in existence, that's the motherly tendency of affection that's manifesting in the form of milk. The source of all of that is Mother Yashoda, Krishna's mother. So that affectionate tendency is there in the spiritual world. Okay? However, if we apply that tendency to people, things, objects of this world, this leads to bondage and attachment and suffering in samsara, because that is its nature. The nature of material existence, the duality is suffering. But that doesn't mean the solution to that suffering is not to stop loving, to stop being attached to anything. That's not the solution. You can't destroy something positive by something negative. Love is a positive thing. All right? Love is not a bad thing. You love something, that's not bad. You love your friends, you love your parents, you love your family, you love the world. Love is not a bad thing. We are not against love. We are not the anti-love cult. And we are also not the material love cult. So which cult are we? Swami Prabhupada said we are the Chaitanya cult, this cult of the culture of Krishna consciousness. How can we develop pure love for Krishna? That is pure Krishna consciousness. So when you apply those symptoms of love with people who are not Krishna's devotees, who are very materialistic, attached to this world, then naturally, they'll tell you, oh, why are you talking about Krishna? Why are you talking about God? Come to the club with us, come to the bar with us, drink. Or maybe they're very pious and they don't do that. But still, if they're attached to things of this world, separate from God, then that is the source of bondage. They may be very pious people, very righteous people. I'll give you another example. Parents had two sons. One son was very good, but completely neglected them. And one son was very naughty, but always was affectionate to them and asking of their welfare and spending time with them. Which son did the parents prefer? So in the same way, some of God's devotees may be, mischievous, maybe naughty in different ways, but if they're always affectionate towards Krishna, then Krishna accepts them. We hear this in terms of different religions. Some people do things very crazy, But who's more devout? Who's more thinking of God, remembering God? So our goal of life is not material morality also. Morality is important. We follow rules and regulation. Not stealing, adultery, coveting, so many things, murdering and so forth. We follow that all. Naturally, devotee naturally follows all morality. But there's a higher morality that is transcendental love for Krishna and his devotees. Our Gurudev would say, without love of God, this is all material duality, temporary and the source of bondage. So we're discussing this song I sang. Is it appropriate to have friendship with devotees? Yes. As you advance in bhakti, you develop friendships with devotees. This means you're advancing from the neophyte stage to the intermediate stage. A neophyte devotee doesn't have faith in anyone but Krishna. And as you advance, you have faith in all Krishna's devotees. So that's why I began the class saying, I am so grateful to be in the association of Krishna's devotees because you are encouraging me to practice bhakti, inspiring me to practice bhakti. And also in the temple situation, it's very favorable. Oh, we're at some home, we're living together in some home, and we think, oh, Harikatha, someone is speaking, other people are listening. It's not equal, right? We should live in a place full of equality. Nobody should be speaking. There's so many people listening and one person speaking. This is not proper. No one should be speaking. No one should be listening. And we should all be quarreling about how to enjoy this world. There's a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam. I read it this morning. It's in the first canto. I forget the chapter and quote reference. But the verse says, this is the opposite side of this world. You know what the nature of this world is? Exploitation. And big fish eats the little fish. Jivo jivasya jivanam. One, it said, this is the specific translation, that the weak are food for the strong. That's this world. And Swami Prabhupada writes in his commentary that actually it is not immoral for a tiger to eat its prey. It's just the nature of this world. It's not immoral. A tiger is eating the prey. It's just material nature. The prey will next become the tiger and will eat the tiger in its next life. It's just duality and cycles of karma. All right? However, we have a choice to make here. We can operate on that plane of exploitation in this world, or we can operate as Krishna's devotee. And there's a big difference. We can live on the plane of exploitation, or we can live on the plane of dedication and devotion, surrender to God, and friendship. We should be friends. And we are friends. Anyone who has the tiniest bit of devotion or faith in God is our friend. Everyone in this world, but those who are, every soul is servant of God by nature, loves God by nature, but some are very covered. And so we avoid some. That's also okay. A liberated soul, pure devotee, doesn't have to avoid anyone. But I'm talking about how we can practically advance in bhakti. That's our discussion before we get into sweet, naughty pastimes of Krishna. All right? How can we practically live our life as devotees? Who to associate with? It's a very important consideration. As we go from neophyte stage to more advanced stage, intermediate stage, called madhyam, then we have more friendship with Krishna's devotees. What kind of friendship is that? It's a deep existential friendship. What did Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada call his devotees, disciples? He said, you are my friend in a great, dangerous situation. Existential friendship. What do they say? Okay, everyone, you got to know what I'm going to say. A friend in need? Friend in need. Yes. I need to come up with a list of all the generic sayings, and try to fit them in somehow. Okay, a friend in need is a friend indeed. What does that mean? The other thing they say is fair weather friend. What's a fair weather friend? Everything's good, then they're your friend. As soon as it's not good, it's like, oh, you're yesterday's cabbage. Right? Yesterday's moldy cabbage. First laugh of the day, success. Points, ding, ding, ding. Somebody's got to keep a tally. Okay, Haribol. This is how I earn my meals here. If I get devotees to laugh once or twice. All right? So, fair weather friend or yesterday's cabbage. Cabbage starts to smell bad after a few days. Right? But devotees are our real friends on an existential level. Why? Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada said, "You are my Vipad Udharan Bandhava." He called all his disciples. He would always offer his obeisance to them and say, "I am your servant. Dasosmi. I am your servant. I'm not Prabhu. You are Prabhu. You are the master. I am your servant." And then he would call them his Vipad Udharan. Vipad means a great calamity, a very dangerous situation. What is that dangerous situation? Somebody tell me. What is the dangerous situation? Just everything around us. Life. Samsara. What is samsara? Mangala? Great. See? Trained up devotee. What is samsara? Birth, death, old age, and disease. What did Sankaracharya call it? Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi jatane shayanam. Again birth, again death, again in the womb of material nature, again birth, again death. So, our friends help us out of that situation. They uplift us. How do they help us? Who are Krishna's devotees? Krishna's devotees are those who like to hear about Krishna, who like to speak about Krishna, who like to sing about Krishna, who like to think of Krishna, who like to serve Krishna. Those are Krishna's devotees. So what are we doing here? In the morning, from morning time, we're serving Krishna, we're hearing about Krishna, we're singing to Krishna, we're chanting Krishna's names, we're meditating on Krishna, from morning to evening. And sometimes we say Radhe Radhe also. Yes, Vrindavan? No? Everyone, can I get a Radhe Radhe? Radhe Radhe. All right. Why do we chant Radharani's name? Tell me, somebody knows. Why do we chant Radharani's name? Because it pleases Krishna. Why do we chant Krishna's name? Somebody tell me. Pleases Radharani. All right, everybody? Why do we chant Krishna's name? Can I hear you? Come on. Wherever you are, in your rooms, in your home, in your speakerphone, say it. Radhe Radhe! All right? Whoever's watching this, we have live and we have post. So when you hear this, please just call out, freak everyone around you out. Just say, Radhe Radhe, Haribo. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. All right? Why do we chant Radharani's name? I just said this. Because it pleases Krishna. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Krishna nama ghane bhai, Radhika charana pai, Radha nam kane Krishna chandra, Shangshepe kohinu kata, Guchao mane rabhyata, Dukamoy hayanta shesh. By chanting of Radharani's name, Krishna is most pleased. And by chanting of Krishna's name, Sri Radha is most pleased. This is the essence of all my teachings. And this is the method to free yourself from all suffering in material life. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. I can't hear you, Vrindavan. Hare Rama, Rama. I can't hear. Okay, let's hear it. Go. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Okay, Mangala, Vrindavan, and Tirtha. 1, 2, 3, go.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Chandrika Mataji and Vinod Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Haribo, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. So Radharani and Krishna are both pleased. All right, so these are our friends. By chanting Krishna's names, by chanting Shri Radha's names, by developing devotion for Krishna, then we are able to transcend bondage, enter the spiritual world, not just to be liberated. Liberation is limbo. Liberation is limbo unless you go higher by developing love of Krishna. Liberation is just limbo. Freedom from suffering, but what else? And actually, those who are practicing Gyan, Karma Yoga, Gyan Yoga, and other yogas, they also take shelter of Bhakti Devi, devotion, to gain the fruits of their austerities. So, Bhakti Yoga with devotees, then devotees are our friends. Okay? Yes? Yes? Devotees are our friends. I can move on when I see some life in you. All right? Mangala, come on, are devotees your friends? Okay, chalo. Tough crowd. I need a water break. I want to tell you tonight about something really sweet, as usual. But that's what we were talking about, the song. First 15, 20 minutes of class, we have to go over some song topic. If you want to laugh and joke with friends of this world, then don't go near Keshi Ghat to see Krishna. So I'm trying to finish the story of this young gopi. And what's our process to develop love for Krishna? It's being with devotees, seeing Krishna's deity form or his picture, chanting his names, meditating on Sri Krishna. This is the process. This is spoken again and again and again in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Again and again and again. What is the process? Hear about Krishna. See Krishna's deity. Serve Krishna's deity form. Spend time with Krishna's devotees, because the devotees are the support system for spiritual life. So if they are not your friends, who are your friends? And as we advance in bhakti, we develop more friendship with devotees. On the existential level, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada said, devotees are my dearmost friends, saving me from the most dangerous situation of this world, the world of exploitation, where the strong are consuming the weak, and then this cycle of life is going over and over and over again. So, the devotees are our friends, and devotees, we talk about Krishna. So one day, a practitioner who had been doing this process for a long time entered the spiritual world and became a gopi. And one day she wanted to see Krishna. And her mother-in-law and sister-in-law said, nope, no Krishna. Don't go see Krishna. So what is Rupa Goswami saying? Don't go see Krishna. This Vaishnav singer is saying, don't go see Krishna, okay? Don't see Krishna's deity. There's many levels of this mood. One level is, they said very strange words. They said Krishna is very dangerous, like a black serpent. I don't like saying this. It's very painful to say, right? I don't like saying it. Yeah, Chandrika Mataji is on my team. I don't like saying this, but sometimes, you have to say it. And they say, by seeing Krishna, he'll bite you, and that poison will make you go mad. She wanted to go see Krishna when he was going to the forest. He would go past the pathway, and all the homes would be nearby the pathways. They would all leave their homes and go see Krishna on the way to the forest. So this one gopi was being held back. Don't go see Krishna. Don't go see Krishna. We had this with our Gurudev. People would say, don't go see Gurudev. Don't go see Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Don't go see Vaishnavas. Don't go to Radhe Kunj. Don't. Don't come to New York Ashram. Don't read their books. Don't. Why? Because, bandhu sangi jaditava ranga parihas, thake abilas. If you still have material desires, don't go to the devotees. They'll bewitch you, brainwash you. All of a sudden you'll just go around chanting Krishna, 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 Krishna. Lord Chaitanya, once he ran in ecstasy of divine love. He left his small little tiny little cubbyhole room in Gambhira, Jagannath Puri in Odisha, and he ran, and he was found later in the ocean. He said, the ocean is Jamuna, the river Jamuna, and I am there serving Radha Krishna, seeing them. He was caught in a net by a fisherman, and his limbs had contorted. He looked like a just like a flesh. And the fisherman touched him, and he went mad, and he was saying, Krishna, 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 Krishna. He thought a ghost possessed him. Swarup Damodar and the devotees came to the bank of the ocean. They found Lord Chaitanya. They found the fisherman. The fisherman was running around like his hair was on fire. Running around like crazy. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Shaking, quivering, falling down like a madman. And Swarup Damodar said, definitely he has touched Lord Chaitanya. The power of the ecstatic love of Lord Chaitanya has come in him. And he slapped him. The person said, I've had a ghost attack me. What to do? Please help me. So he slapped him. This is necessary. Then he came back to his senses. He said, he was over there. And he directed him, and they brought Lord Chaitanya back to his senses by loud Sankirtan. So this is the danger of association with devotees, that Krishna consciousness is force fields emanating from the devotees of Krishna. It's a potency that is coming. That's why it's so important to have physical association with devotees. Online association is good. You can develop connection, affection, but that should lead you to physical association. Because in the physical association with devotees, with the exalted devotees, by their eyes, Krishna Prem, by their words, Krishna Prem, by their presence, by their energetic field, they're radiating love of Krishna. They're radiating devotion to Krishna. And that has a powerful effect. What is that? What is the effect, Mangala? Tell me. Hasotati, rotati, gayati, unmada, lokabhaya. If you're with very advanced devotees. Lord Chaitanya was wandering through the jungle forest. And what happened? Anyone who came in contact developed ecstasy. Wild animals, elephants, lions, tigers began dancing. Deer began dancing. There's one great saint, Rasikananda, Prabhu Goswami. He was famous. One time, people were very envious of him. He was considered like a second Lord Chaitanya, third Lord Chaitanya. Some devotees become so immersed in Krishna consciousness, they become like that, completely immersed in love of God. So people were very envious, and they sent a wild elephant to kill him. They knew he was in this area. They had an enraged, mad elephant who was famous for killing people. He was a serial killer. He was the first serial killer elephant. Actually, there's been many, but he was famous for it. He enjoyed killing people, this elephant. He's very angry, Someone did something really bad to him as a child. Everything good? Yeah?
I'm asking. I just want to make sure.
Okay, good. So what happened? This elephant was running around, and then he saw this person just happily sitting there chanting, and he started running towards him to trample him. And as he was coming, the devotee just smiled at him and said, Krishna Bolo. And the elephant got up and started dancing on two legs. Haribo, Krishna, Hare Krishna, with his trumpet, Somebody can do it. Tirtha? Tirtha, you can do an elephant sound? Okay. It was not I did a bad job. He also did a bad job. Someone else? Mangala? Can you do an elephant sound? You want to try? Okay, let's hear it. I'm going to give this round to Mangala Gita for her effort, okay? For effort. And Tirtha for mood. All right. So what happened? He started dancing, singing. And then he bowed down and he gave him Gayatri mantra in the ear. And he gave him tilak. And that elephant became a famous devotee. Became a famous devotee. He didn't give him capital punishment. He's like, hey, whatever you're doing, material karma, now you're liberated. He became a great devotee, that elephant. So why? Because of how did he become such a great devotee? By the presence of this great devotee. So therefore, devotees are our friends. Anyone who has the slightest tendency to do bhakti is our friend. The main symptom of a devotee is appreciation and desire to hear about Krishna. They want to hear about Krishna. So that is the essence of temple life. If there's no Krishna katha, no speech about Krishna, no glorification of Krishna, no Krishna kirtan, no japa, that is not a temple. That is like a chiriyagar. Hindi for like a birdhouse. Like some houses, nobody lives there except for a few birds. And they like to pass stool everywhere. So a temple without Krishna katha is just a place for some, like a few pigeons talking about so many material things. So, trying to get back to the topic, this young gopi wanted to see Krishna, and everyone said, don't see Krishna. Why? If you see Krishna, then you'll lose your sense. Everything will become, destroyed. I'm sorry, classes, we just getting to the topic takes like half an hour. So I apologize. But this is an important story. So her mother-in-law, sister-in-law went to see Krishna. He said, but you're going to see Krishna? It's not fair. Sometimes parents do this, It's like, we are qualified, you are not qualified. You ever had that happen when you were a kid, Your elder sister, elder brother? Yes? I had it happen. You're not qualified. You're not old enough. Right? Parents also do that, That's why parents, you set a good example for your kids. Parents are drinking, smoking, all these things, and then they're saying, but you can't do it. It's like, yeah, well, I'll be able to do it when I'm your age. So anyhow, the point is, this gopi thought, you can't hold me back from seeing Krishna. So what did she do? She looked out of her door. She thought if she goes out to the pathway, she'll get in trouble. So, but I can look through I can open my door a little bit, like you have a door, and you can peek out. And Krishna was coming along the pathway with his calves and friends, And he knew her heart, her desire. She'd been practicing austerities for many lifetimes and finally had been born in Braj. What did we hear about yesterday? How do you become born in Braj? How do you become born in Vrindavan? Swarup Siddhi, Vastu Siddhi. What is Swarup Siddhi? Come on.
Realize your spiritual form here.
Correct. After what stage? Or upon what stage? Bhav. That means pure ecstatic devotion for Krishna. Bhav awakens in the heart. And then you realize your spiritual form by the grace of Radharani, her spiritual potency. Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma Prema Suryangsab. A tiny ray of pure love from the spiritual world, from the associates of Krishna, by the mercy of Shri Radha, the blessings of your Guru will enter your heart. And that ray of love will awaken your spiritual form and you'll realize that. Then Bhav. Then Swarup Siddhi, then by practicing this life, having achieved that Swarup Siddhi, then comes the next stage, Vastu Siddhi. And what is that?
You're born from the spiritual world.
Where? Not in the spiritual world.
In the spiritual world, in this realm.
Yes, in a realm of Vrindavan in this universe, or in another material universe, but not yet in the spiritual universe. That is the first stage of Vastu Siddhi, and then you live a life there, learning from Krishna's eternal associates. Then from there you go to the spiritual world, Krishna's pastimes there. So this gopi is now born in this world, Krishna's pastimes, and Krishna knows she's been practicing austerities for a long time to develop pure love. She's been born in this world, so Krishna thinks, I must go and accept her, mood and her desire. But her mother-in-law is saying, don't go see Krishna. Don't go. So what do? You follow your heart or your authorities? What are you going to do? We know which authorities. We know that, Kishore, Kishori age, that means teenage life. Adolescence, spiritual adolescence also, they don't like to listen to their superiors. So you should listen to those who say, go see Krishna, right? We are the rebel party. We are not the orthodox party that says, don't see Krishna, just practice religiosity. Dharma. What is Dharma without Krishna? Dharma, there's a great verse, okay? People will tell you, no, don't develop love of God. That is not dharmic. What is dharmic? Working hard in this world, doing your duty. Ants do that also. Are ants practicing dharma? Vrindavan? They're doing their dharma every day, Getting up, going to work. Getting up, going to work all day. I work all day and I work all night, right? This is the life of insects. So a human being who's a workaholic is preparing to become an insect. So he is more capable to work hard. Insects don't complain on the job. You ever see an ant complaining? Right? You ever see an ant complaining? Maybe? I don't know. Existential ant. The ant who's just got his... there's like the ant highway and there's just a few ants sitting on the side like, God, can't wait till Friday. Ants don't get the weekend off. Material duty is not the highest dharma. Understand? I work very hard, I'm dharmic. So what? All right? Preparing to become a first-class ant. We should serve, but we should serve praying for love of Krishna, to realize our relationship with Krishna. That is the reason for our service. That is our purpose. Prem dana vina vyarta radhita jivan das kori vetan more deha prema dan. Without prem, love for Krishna, my life is void, empty. I am serving you, Krishna, praying for a drop of your love. Okay? Yes? Okay? You agree? So this gopi wanted to see Krishna, but everyone's saying, don't go to see Krishna. People will tell you, do your dharma, but don't get too dharmic. Balance material life. Spiritual life, material life. Anyone who's, here we're surrounded by monks, so monks understand, we dived in the deep end. Bhakti, the bhakti deep end. But most people, worldly life, they tell you, don't do too much bhakti. It's dangerous. This story is not an uncommon story. Very common story. Especially in India, we have a story of someone right now who wants to practice bhakti, wants to live in the temple, and the parents say, no. We know somebody right now living nearby Vrindavan, Mathura. Tyrannical authority father Don't practice bhakti. Do your dharma. Get a job. Get a wife. Make babies. This is the purpose of human life. Why should I do that? Because that's what I did it. That's what I did. Well, why did you do that? Because that's what my father did. Why did your father do that? Because that's what his father did. Why did he do that? Because that's what he did. Why did his great-great-grandfather did it? Because he was lusty. Right? You want to enjoy this material world in the name of Dharma. So, what does the Bhagavatam say, Vrindavan Prabhu? Famous verse about Dharma without Harikatha. You know this one. Come on, say it. Say it for me, please. Dharma swanushtita pungsa vishvaksena kathasuya notpadyed yadiratim shrama eva hi kevalam. This is our declaration of independence. Dharma swanushtita pungsha. You may, as a human being, work tirelessly to practice Dharma. But if it does not lead to the awakening of love for Hari, Krishna, and taste for hearing about Krishna, then this is a waste of time. That is our declaration. Waste of time. So many people are there in this world. This story is a common story. Don't go to the temple. Oh my God, Mangala Gita, you're destroying your life. Why are you living in the temple? I just can't understand it. Very wonderful lady, so qualified, so skilled. Are your parents telling you this sometimes? I'm sorry, maybe this is a little bit too personal, right? For the boys, your father, this happens, right? Crazy person, joined a cult, became a monk, serving day and night to propagate the teaching of the cult. What are you doing with your life? You've destroyed your life. You've ruined your life. Don't go see Krishna. That's why we, cult means stay together. Right? Cultivate bhakti together. You got to circle the wagons. Bolo Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Koro Krishna Shiksha. Hear about Krishna, speak about Krishna, worship Krishna, protect your faith by like-minded association. Because the alternative is what? Jivo jivasya jivanam. Suffering in samsara, exploitation in samsara, that's the alternative. And what are we practicing? They're said, satam. By association with devotees, the door to liberation is opened and we awaken divine love. Sadhu Sangha Vimukti Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahor Vimuktis. Service of great devotees, association with the great devotees is what? The doorway to liberation. Okay, you don't want liberation? Enjoy your stay in the hotel of Maya. Why is it a hotel? You don't own anything here. You don't own anything here, not your bank account, not your car, nothing. Nothing is your property because it's all recycling. Like in a hotel, they tell you, oh, here, use this towel. How many times has that towel been used? How many times has our money been used? How many times are the parts we buy a new home, but that is not new material. Nothing is new. So it's all used. It's all recycled. And we are also recycled, and our body has been recycled over and over again. But we are following the path to get liberation. So this gopi said, I'm not going to listen to that person. They themselves are going to see Krishna. So I'm not going to listen to them. I'm also going to peek out. And Krishna thought, all right. There's two categories of people who are not favorable. They're maybe favorable, but some don't want Krishna, and they will not let you go. Some want Krishna and still don't want to let you go. We saw that in our life of our Srila Gurudev. Some senior disciples of Swami Prabhupada would every day go and hear from him about Krishna's pastimes. Every day. But they told all their followers, don't go. Don't go. You're not qualified. I am qualified. All right, so Krishna thought, okay, qualified, unqualified. Desire is qualification. What have we been talking about the last week? Class? What is monkey logic? Who remembers what is monkey logic? Desire. Desire is monkey logic. What is kitten logic? Faith in mercy. Both. Mangala, what is kitten logic? Faith in the mercy of the mother. The mother will pick me up and move me wherever I need to go. The mother will feed me. And what is monkey logic? I must grab hold. How do you grab hold? By your effort? By your desire. Okay? You want it, you get it. Your desire is the purchasing power to the spirit, to enter the spiritual world. Beautiful process. Your desire is the purchasing power to enter the spiritual world, to purchase your ticket. And yet, you never have enough money to purchase that ticket. It's only mercy that can actually grant you that ticket, that visa, and that entrance. Because even if you get up to the door, you cannot enter without grace. So the point here is that Krishna understood her desire. And what did he do? He pulled the tail of one of the calves. He was running along behind a calf, and he pulled the calf because he needed some excuse. Because you imagine the mother-in-law, sister-in-law, everyone's there. He thought, I can't just walk up to the door and meet this gopi. So he pulled the tail of the calf, and Krishna and his calves know each other's hearts and minds. So the calf turned and ran right up to the door. So Krishna said, oh, friends, you can go ahead. I'll just run to the door really quick and get the calf back. So Krishna followed the calf, and then, oh, dear calf, and he petted it and said, go back and collect. But she was standing there, peeking out of the door, little opening in the door, like 1 inch. And what did Krishna do? He took his flute and he touched her cheek. Poke. You ready? Next life? She's ready. She's like, yes, please, please. Fingers crossed. All right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare. What is your purchasing power to get there? What is your purchasing power to get to Vrindavan? Your desire. Mangala, what is your purchasing power to get to Vrindavan? Tirtha? Greed. What's the verse that references that Vrindavan? Good. Say it. Let's hear. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavitamati kriyatam jadi kutopi labhyate tatra lolyam api mulyam ekalam janma koti sukriterna labhyate. It's a very important verse of Rupa Goswami. Okay? Take notes in your mind. And then no need notes. Notes are for those people who don't want to hear Harikatha again. Right? Why do you need notes? If you're, oh, no problem, I'll hear it again. That's kitten logic. Kitten logic is no need notes. I'll hear it again. Right, Vrindavan? How many times have you heard Gurudev speak these things? Many times. So Vrindavan doesn't have any notes. Vrindavan's notes is that bookshelf. You see up there? 80 books. That's all your notes. And all these are our notes. But what's the use of the notes? Because our practice is to hear about Krishna. Right? That's our note. Write down this note, okay, everyone? In your mental notepad. What is the note? I will hear about Krishna regularly. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. I will regularly hear about Krishna. And that is the only note you need from class. I see people, it's like, I used to do this too. I had horrible handwriting, and I would just scribble all day long everything I heard. And eventually I said, this is useless. No, I can't read it. Nobody else can read it. I'm going to start typing it. At least it's useful. And I started typing. I tell you, seriously, if you find any of my old notebooks, you're like, is this guy like, I'm not going to say the word. I won't say the word. But you know what I mean. Points. I got some more points. I got at least 10 points for that laugh. Okay. Haribo. So, what is the verse? Tatra lolyam api mulyam ekalam janma koti sukriter nalabhyate. What does it mean, Vrindavan Prabhu? That greed is the only price. You must desire it. And how do you develop that desire? By association with Krishna's devotees. So it leads us back to square one. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavitamati. Those who have taste for Krishna bhakti, those who are relishing Krishna bhakti, by their association, you will also develop that taste, and you also develop that relish. And you develop that through sukriti, through pious activities favorable to bhakti. So this is a very interesting topic. There's a famous verse about how bhakti develops. All right? Who knows this verse? Remind me, because I'm forgetting it. No, I'll remember it. Bhaktistu bhagavad bhakta sangena parijayate satsanga prapyati pumbi sukriter purva sanjitai. Bhakti, devotion for Krishna, develops from the heart of Krishna's devotees. It transfers to your heart. and it awakens like fire comes from wood, but it needs fire from outside. Do you see wood just spontaneously catch fire? Like, oh, today I feel like being a fire. No, you set up the fire, right circumstances, right situation, but you need a match. Okay? You need a spark. Correct? Yes? But if you're too wet, the spark won't light. So Sukriti dries out material disqualification. Sukriti means doing activities favorable to bhakti. Following Ekadashi, worshipping Tulasi tree, worshipping the banyan tree, sacred trees, going on holy places, doing service, doing charity, giving of charity to saintly persons. This is all developing your pious merits, your spiritual bank balance. One time, Trivikram Goswami Maharaj was asked how to do bhajan, how to develop pure love, how to practice spiritual life, do bhajan. He said, "Arey Baba, how will you do bhajan? I am only collecting Sukriti. I collected Sukriti many years. I'm trying to collect Sukriti now. That will lead us to bhajan. But, however, there is an asterisk. Koti janma sukritirna labhyate. Simply by developing good activities, doing good things, serving devotees and things like that, by that alone, one cannot get the entrance to Vrindavan, which is by rag bhakti, pure spontaneous love. For that, there's something even more important you need. What is that? That desire, that greed. And to get that desire, that greed, you take association with Krishna's devotees who have that taste for bhakti, who relish bhakti, who distribute bhakti. Okay? Make sense? Understood? So Krishna went to that gopi and touched her cheek, smiled, and that was it. Bandhu sange jaditava ranga parihas. Oh, brothers. Such a situation, if you go close to Krishna, he won't leave you alone. This is the danger of bhakti. Oh, I'll just go to the temple once. And then before you know it, your life is destroyed. What was the page of the song? 124. Huh? 124. Okay, before you know it, take abilas, everything is destroyed. Good memory. A grave calamity will occur. Oh, dear family person, your life will be destroyed. This is the great fear of my mind. A great calamity will occur. Look at Krishna smiling and playing his flute. Very dangerous person. See Krishna smiling there, playing his flute. The deer, the birds, the forest itself. When Krishna walks into the forest, you know what happens? The river Jamuna that is flowing this way starts to follow Krishna and flow the other way. Krishna's walking up the river, and the river decides to follow him. Krishna's like minding his business, walking along the river, and the river starts to change its course, goes upstream, and forms little whirlpools to collect lotuses and offer them to Krishna's feet. The river forms a little whirlpool, and the lotus is spinning in the whirlpool, and then it's released, and it flies into the air and lands at Krishna's feet. Yes? The trees start to weep nectar. The birds were always very, restless, become stunned in ecstasy and sit looking at Krishna like sages practicing meditation. You see like hummingbirds, how fast their wings beat, So fast. They see Krishna and stunned. They become like sages drinking the beauty of Krishna. What is the beauty of Krishna? You cannot understand. The deer go and come close to Krishna and look at beautiful Krishna's face. And the stags, the bucks, they support them and they smile and say, yes, very good. We are here to protect you. Go to Krishna. Go to Krishna. So what happens when you start going to Krishna? I didn't have this planned. I was actually planning to read from this book, but Harikatha is its own thing. I want to tell you a story about a devotee in this world, how you progress in bhakti. And the more you progress in bhakti, at a certain point, Krishna starts coming quickly towards you. This is the beauty of bhakti. You don't have to go all the way to Krishna. You just have to start going towards Krishna. All right? Make sense? It's a long journey to the spiritual world. How are you going to get there? What plane? In this world, we have to use our mind. It's like so hard. Right? Spoken, All right, say we want to get somewhere. You want to get to California from New York. You got to purchase the plane ticket. You got to make sure you have your travel documents. You got to make sure you don't take anything illegal with you. Right? You got to get the bus or whatever. You got to get there. And then, we're trying to go to the spiritual world, not to California. That's California. That's not Krishna's Fornia. So how do we get there? It's a hard journey on our own. We have to imagine if you had to, imagine I told you right now, okay, Vrindavan, figure it out, go to the spiritual world. I support you wholeheartedly. I support you. What are you doing in the temple life, Every day, just ringing a bell, doing worshiping Shalagram, taking prasadam, learning things, following orders. I'm always telling you what to do, right? Is it true? You have to support me here for the audience. Tell me, am I always telling you what to do? For the audience, he's saying no, okay? Can everyone verify? Is he saying no or yes? People are going to think I'm like this drill sergeant telling people what to do all the time. How often do I tell you what to do? He's saying no. Why? Because in a temple, if people have taste for bhakti, simply encourage them in what they like to do, right? You like to play mridanga, you like to read, you like to type Gurudev's lectures. As you like, you do. If I were to tell you, Vrindavan, you know what? You're wasting your time in the temple. You should start going to Vrindavan. Go to the spiritual world. I'm serious. Tirtha, pack your bags and go to Vrindavan. Go to the spiritual world. Imagine how difficult that would be. You walk down the road and you just think, what do I do? What do I do? No, you're not going to find the door, to speak of being let in. You're going to wander the earth looking, where's Krishna, where's Krishna, where's Krishna, where's Krishna? Krishna is where? Where is Krishna? Krishna is where his devotees are. You want to find Krishna, find his devotees. And then you pray, please let me stay nearby. There's a famous song we sing. I'll give many extra points whoever can think of what I'm going to say. We follow the footsteps of those who have Krishna in their heart. What is that song? 4th verse, Vaishnav Thakur. Krishna se tomara, Krishna dhite paro, tomara shakati ache. Amito kangal, Krishna, Krishna bholi, dhaitava pache pache, dhaitava pache pache. Krishna is your property, O Vaishnav. O devotee, Krishna is yours. You have the power to give Krishna. Therefore, I am walking behind your footsteps, praying, please accept me. I am yours. Please accept me. I am a wretch, destitute beggar, praying for your association. Simple. So that's actually a very nice thing because we don't have to go outside and try to find Vrindavan. Temple life is Vrindavan. Prep stage, prep school. Okay, you've all made it to the prep school. Okay, prep school. Yes? And everyone's saying, what are you doing? All right, this is the preparatory school for entrance into Vrindavan. So I'm going to tell you a story about that. Once there was a devotee living in the temple, and his guru told him, they didn't have, this is India temple, and it gets very hot in the summer, North India, very hot. And this is before they had electricity and things like that. So the deities were in their altar like this, and in the afternoon time they take rest, they close the curtains, and the Lord is resting. This is our mood. And so the guru told his disciple, I want you to, it's very hot in the summer, and I want you to close your eyes when the Lord is resting and fan him. All right? Close your eyes and fan the Lord. Imagine someone had that service, afternoon time for 2 hours, actually more than 2 hours, like 3 hours, right? Midday pastimes, they have their lunch, 12:30, they have their arati, by 1 o'clock they're resting till 4 o'clock. So for those 3 hours, your service is to fan the Lord, but with your eyes closed. He said, okay, Gurudev, I will do it. And then Gurudev said, don't open your eyes. Okay, Gurudev. And if anybody talks to you, don't reply. Okay, Gurudev. He thought, maybe somebody's coming from outside or talking, okay, close your eyes and don't reply. It's a nice fanning the deities. And there's a beautiful deity of Radha and Krishna. And he's fanning and he's very happy. Imagine doing that for like 2 hours, holding your eyes closed. Maybe he just put a blindfold on to be easier. I don't know. But he said, anyhow, don't open your eyes. So he's fanning and fanning. After about an hour, someone says, what are you doing? He didn't say anything. He said, why don't you open your eyes? Didn't say anything. It's fanning. Hey, look at me. Didn't say anything. And someone poked him. Right? Like a flute. Hey. We've heard this story many times from Gurudev. Many times we've heard this story. Please. Please. And then after a while, he still wasn't doing it. He said, hey, nonsense. What are you doing here? Who gave you permission to be here? Open your eyes or else. He didn't do it. He did the whole time. Followed the orders of his guru very nicely. Then after, his guru asked him, how did it go? He said, oh yeah, I did your service. I was very happy to follow your order. I had my eyes closed the whole time. Did you speak to anybody? No. Did anybody speak to you? He said, yes. Who spoke to you? He said, oh, But some sweetness, some love, some ecstasy was in his heart, and actually then he started to cry. And Gurudev said, yes, you see? See you? Krishna starts coming towards you. This is temple life. You're going towards Krishna, Krishna's coming towards you. It's easier than packing your bags and trying to find the spiritual world. Getting on a plane and thinking, if I go high enough, I'll find it. Which way is up? Tell me, which way is up? Even that much for you is difficult to find out. So which way is up? Serving in the temple, practicing bhakti, hearing from devotees, practicing bhakti. If you're not in the temple life, it's fine. But making your home a temple, having a picture of Krishna, hearing about Krishna, chanting Krishna's name, then the home is also temple life. Not everyone is, able to live in the temple, but everyone should visit the temple. And Srila Rupa Goswami writes, in the 64 limbs of bhakti, one of them, in the later section, is every day we should go to Krishna's temple at least once or twice a day. So ultimately, this is our service. We have to open a temple everywhere so that it's easy for people to go to a temple once or twice a day, just like they would go to church. This is a limb of bhakti. And if they can't do that, if we can't do that, if we are weak, impotent, and we can't open a temple in every town and village, I know I am very weak and I cannot do anything. It's hard enough just, getting up for Mangalarti. But, okay, still, then we hear about Krishna, we chant Krishna's mantras, we connect online, we do our best. But this is our process to go to Krishna. All right, this is our process, a very nice, blissful process. We're winding up now, I promise, right? But this is a very nice process. The more we go towards Krishna, the more Krishna comes to us. And as we develop in bhakti devotion, the sixth stage of the development of bhakti is that Krishna becomes attracted. Krishna akarshani cha. Krishna himself becomes attracted. What is this lady doing? Why is she dressing me every day? Why is she making garlands for me? Why is she hearing about me? Why is she chanting my name? He becomes curious, and I will also come. I want to hear, I want to see, I want to experience. And also, our Gurudev, what is he doing? Our Prabhupada, what are their children doing? Krishna becomes curious, especially on festival days. It says festival days, especially, the Vrajabasi's attentions are on everyone who's celebrating these festivals. I've always heard this from the devotees, from Prabhuji. Especially big festivals, Ekadashi, Janmastami, Radhastami, Radharani's birthday, Krishna's birthday, the Guru's appearance, Lord Ram's appearance, Shringadev, especially the past acharyas, their days. Then the Vrajabasis are all very curious, what did you do in this world when you went? They're Nitya Lila Pravishta with Krishna. So the Vrajabasis are always thinking, what did you do when you went to that world? And you preached about Krishna, you had these temples, all these devotees following. So they're very curious. What's going on? They're getting this is their social media. What is going on in this? Sometimes, not always thinking, but sometimes. So then they see, Mangala Gita is nicely doing program, Tirtha Prabhu, Vrindavan Prabhu, Chandrika, Vinod, all the other devotees. Everyone's very enthusiastic, practicing bhakti. Then they are very kind. Right? Your desire attracts mercy. Okay? Got it? Your desire and your effort attracts Krishna's mercy, Krishna's devotees' mercy. So this is our process. And as we go towards Krishna, in the beginning, you're trying to talk to Krishna. Is Krishna talking? Is he hearing? I'm making the garland. Is he hearing? Krishna is the super soul. He hears everything. He is always with you. We heard about this yesterday. Krishna is always with you. He's the super soul. He's always with you. He hears everything. But we are clouded by our own material desires, by Maya, by our attachments. But as we develop in bhakti, Krishna becomes attracted. Then to this devotee, Krishna began to speak to him, and he was told by his guru not to reply. How do you understand? Bhakti develops so much that Krishna will try to speak with you, and then your services do not reply. This is also Raghunath Das Goswami writes this about in this verse. Krishna came and he was trying to speak with Rati Manjari to beg entrance to see Radharani, and Radharani said not to speak with Krishna. And again, Krishna was trying to speak to her. Finally, at one point, she was frustrated and said, "Hey, leave me alone. Get out." And then Krishna started teasing with her and joking, and she just smiled a little bit, giggled a little bit. Oof, Radharani became very angry. Said, "Leave the kunj." She went outside and was weeping and weeping and weeping. Then Lalita Devi came, Vishaka Devi prayed. She prayed to them, "Please beg Radharani to forgive me and that may I serve again." She spoke with Krishna when Radharani was mad at him. Sometimes Radharani will send Krishna to meet with the gopis to see the manjaris, and then she's happy when they're meeting. But sometimes if Radharani is in Man, I open to the page Krishna on the way to the forest. Then Radharani doesn't want Krishna to meet with the gopis. So there's a verse about it. I'll read you, then we'll end. Okay? Such beautiful verses. One by one by one. In this way our life can pass. Sometimes I think, what are we going to do with our life? We're young. Gurudev told me, be a monk, serve my mission. And I've been in temple life for 20 years. But living in India, it's very easy to know what to do. There's so much service to do, and you're in association of devotees. But what do we do here? And then I think, it's easy. We hear about Krishna, speak about Krishna, sing Krishna's glories, chant Krishna's names, be with devotees, try to maintain his place, but he is maintaining. Simple. It's not complicated. Will the joy of my eyes increase when I see one maiden swiftly and happily bringing various blooming flowers, big gunja beads and peacock feathers, while Hari makes the braid of my Swamini. With this he shivers and her whole body blooms with goose pimples in ecstasy. Verse 77. Krishna is praying to serve Srimati Radhika. So this is coming. This is coming. I want to find this one verse for you. So Radharani chastised Krishna, the forest doctor. There's so many nice stories here. So one time, Krishna was trying to meet Radharani. She was angry at him in a mood of jealous, contrary mood. This is her ornament. Krishna is very happy with his contrary mood. Anyone has contrary mood? We have devotees. Very contrary. I know some devotees. Anybody know any devotees? Very contrary. Always strong and bold. And this is good. Krishna likes this. But for who? Radharani's maidservants also may be fiery and contrary, but to Radharani, they're always humble. Meaning they're always in the mood of surrender and service. So one time she was chastised, and Radharani became angry and sent her away. So many sweet. I can't get into these verses because then the class will go on until midnight. All right, so I just want to quote one verse and keep moving forward. I can't even look. It's too dangerous. 87, 89. Dangerous verses. But I'm trying to make this point, okay? So I'm going to read this verse. Why is it important to take shelter of Krishna's associates? Okay? I am yours, I cannot live without you. Knowing this, O Srimati Radhike, please accept me at your lotus feet. Verse 96. She was praying to Radharani, and she prayed to Radharani's dear friends, Lalita and Vishaka. She prayed with one verse for Lalita, one verse for Vishaka. O fair-faced Vishake, my Swamini will not leave your company for even a moment. This is verse 99. Because you are both the same age, you are the realm of her playful, joking pastimes. Please save my life from the affliction of separation and bring me to my Swamini. So Radharani chastised Rati Manjari, and then she prayed to Vishaka to protect her and bring her back. And then she prays to Lalita. So we take shelter of Radharani's associates. We take shelter of Gurudev's associates. There's a few verses about this here and a few descriptions. We're not there yet. But we pray to Radharani and to Krishna and to their associates. All right, I'll end that class with that point. Even in that highest realm, we rely on Radharani's associates, Krishna's associates for our shelter. Even in that realm. All right? Therefore, Krishna's devotees are our friends. Okay? Krishna's devotees are our best friends. Okay? There's your title. Krishna's devotees are our best friends.